The decision to grant Peter Raymond Keogh a defence of provocation in 1989 in relation to the murder of my sister Vicky had its origins in R.V. Dincer, a celebrated case of 1982. Zerrin Dincer was only 16 years of age when her father, Kemalettin Dincer, rushed into the room where she was arguing the point with her mother in February 1981 and plunged a knife into her heart. He would later claim that as a devout Muslim he was shamed by her behaviour, and that behaviour, mixing with boys and allegedly having a boyfriend by the name of Tony Darby, who lived at that time with his mother at 241 Dorcas Street, where Zerrin was staying at the time. Kemalettin Dincer was Zerrin's stepfather. Some would say that he was antagonistic towards her because she wasn't his biological daughter. A social worker by the name of Gary Wright would tell police that he'd been at the Western General Hospital when Kemalettin Dincer's wife, Zerrin, had arrived one night several months before the murder, claiming that her husband had attempted to strangle her and that she bore scratches on her neck. The night before, Zerrin and her sister had attended the hospital with their mother, claiming to have been frightened by the father. It was the next morning when Wright came across Kemalettin Dincer. But this evidence about Dincer, or these claims about Dincer, claims at least made by his wife, were never aired in court. Dincer was represented by Colin Lovett, a well-known barrister around Melbourne. What was staggering was that Justice Lush allowed a defence of provocation, and Dincer was found guilty only of manslaughter and sentenced to less than 4 years jail. What's also staggering is that Dincer was granted bail. So for up to 6 months, Dincer was at home with his wife, while one of his daughters, Zerrin Dincer, was a ward of the state. We might argue that things have changed, but we must continue to ask the questions. I couldn't believe it when Justice George Hampel cited R.V. Dincer as the precedent upon which he should grant a defence of provocation to Peter Raymond Keogh. Keogh stabbed my sister Vicky to death in August 1987. She was 25 years of age. And there was Dincer having done exactly the same, but in this occasion to his daughter. I read the transcript again, and the transcript tells its own story of a man accused of violence and of a man who was allowed a defence of provocation on the grounds that he was a devout Muslim. Imagine trying to run that line today. Imagine trying to run that line today at the same time as a trial involving 12 men accused of plotting terror in the name of Islam was running in the court in the heart of Melbourne. Just imagine.